Hi, my name is Collin Haygood. My audience members are my grandpa, my dad, my grandma who's recording, and my little brother Mason. And I want to ask the question, how did a single day determine the fate of millions of lives and shape the world we live in today? Today I would like to talk to you about the Allied invasion of Normandy, otherwise known as D-Day. D-Day was a day that took years of careful preparation, which led to a day of insurmountable courage and chaos, and was ultimately the turning point in World War II. The invasion marked a key shift in the Second World War, often being credited as one of the most important battles. According to Tyler from the Ranker in an article titled The Most Important Battles of World War II on June 22nd, 2017, the invasion of Normandy ranked as the fifth most important battle, which was also the highest the United States was on the list. In researching for this topic, I've covered many sources such as the U.S. Army's official website, army.mil, and history.com. I chose this topic because I feel that we should honor those who gave up their lives in this truly horrific battle, and that our world would look drastically different had this battle not occurred. In this speech, I will discuss many aspects of it, such as the build-up, the battle itself, and the aftermath. So first, I'd like to start by talking about the build-up to it. According to the U.S. Army's official website, army.edu, in an article discussing D-Day, the planning of D-Day had begun way back in 1940 when France fell to the Germans. However, it would not be for another 4 years until the battle actually took place. The original date was scheduled to be June 5th, 1944. However, due to weather delays, the battle had to be scheduled for June 6th. By that time, the Allies had amassed by around 2.8 million troops in southern England, and on that day, on June 6, 1944, 160,000 soldiers, over 10,000 planes, attempted to land across a heavily fortified French beach line, not knowing the horrors they were about to endure. Now that we have a good understanding of the battle itself, the situations surrounding the battle, I would like to now talk about the battle itself. The battle itself was a long, bloody onslaught that ended with heavy casualties on both sides. According to a History.com article titled D-Day, written by the History.com editors discussing the events of D-Day, by the dawn of June 6, paratroopers had already begun invading France, with them taking many bridges and roads and other modes of transportation. And around 6:30 a.m., the amphibious invasion began. The British and Canadian forces faced light oppositions on beaches codenamed Juno, Gold, and Sword. However, the Americans faced heavy resistance on Omaha Beach, with the Americans losing 2,000 troops on that beach alone. Although the Allies faced heavy resistance throughout the course of the battle, they did emerge as the victors. According to a History.com article titled D-Day, written by the History.com editors, by the end of the day on June 6, 1944, about 156,000 Allied troops had successfully landed on the French beaches of Normandy. However, some estimates say that around 4,000 casualties had also been in effect, with them either dying, being injured, MIA, or captured by the enemy. Less than a week later, the Allies landed 326,000 troops, more than 56,000 vehicles, and over 100,000 tons of equipment had successfully been landed on the beaches. This battle proved to be a pivotal win in the European campaign, with the Allies retaking Europe within the next year. According to a History.com article titled D-Day, written by the History.com editors, by the end of August 1944, the Allies had successfully taken the Seine River, liberated Paris, and had effectively pushed the Germans out of all of Western Europe, effectively ending the Battle of Normandy. The Allied troops prepared to make a push into Germany to meet with the Soviets who were battling the Germans on the Eastern Front. It wouldn't be long before the Allies had advanced all the way through Germany. According to a History.com article titled D-Day, written by the History.com editors, the invasion began to turn the tide against the Nazis, not just physically, but psychologically as well, as Hitler was under heavy stress with him not able to take his forces from France to help fight the Soviets on the Eastern Front. And this reached a climax on April 30th, 1945, with Adolf Hitler committing suicide in his bunker, And a few days later, on May 8th, 1945, the Allies officially accepted the unconditional surrender of the Nazis. So in conclusion, today I've discussed a key battle in World War II, including its build-up, the battle itself, and the aftermath the battle had. And I've discussed many different parts of it, such as times, dates, statistics such as how many troops were there and how many were killed. And remember when I asked how one day could change the fate of millions? Well, without the sacrifices those troops made on June 6th, there's no telling what our world would look like today. Thank you.